Good evening and welcome in to the Wild Sports Show. To the right of your screen is Pops, and I am QMP. We are your favorite father-son duo talking sports. And y'all, it's been a couple weeks since we've been on. We'll be glad to be back. And in today's show, y'all, we're going to talk about Cowboys rookie minicamp that just took place last week. We're going to also go around the NFL, and then we're going to go around the world of the NBA. So again, been off for a couple weeks, y'all, but glad to be back on with y'all. Pops, you ready to speak to the people?
Yeah, I am. I kind of miss everybody. I'm glad we're back on to make sure we got all the things together about the draft and all of that. And so we'll find out how all this turns out. So let's go ahead and make the show.
All right. So once again, before we get started, y'all, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're on any and all the platforms that you use to watch your favorite podcast, and hopefully we're one of those podcasts that you tune into. Again, we're on any other platform, so be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All right, so first up, Pops. First up, we're going to talk about Cowboys rookie minicamp. Cowboys rookie minicamp. Now, as you see pictured in that screen, on the screen there, y'all, in that clip, the number one person right there is Caleb Downs, who we've been raving about, wanting to see this guy on the field, wanting to see what he's able to do. And, obviously they're in shorts, so it ain't like they in pads or anything like that. But it was our first glimpse of being able to see what Caleb Downs is about. All those rookies that were drafted and undrafted rookies as well. Pops heard a few good things about Caleb Downs, of course. That was to be expected, Pops, with all the great things we heard about him during the draft, and then post-draft as well, and just to see what he was able to do, just this first few visions of him on the field were good stuff. Good stuff. And there's a couple other things I'm going to get into, but just your initial thoughts on, Cowboys rookie minicamp, Pops, and just, getting that first glimpse of Caleb Down.
Well, I was thinking that also that Dak was talking about him. And I know Dak is a well-known quarterback, a veteran and everything. And from what he said he saw was this young man is going to be really a good asset to the team. And he's going to possibly be one of the better leaders, even as a rookie on the defensive side of the ball. So if Dak can say that and he's seen what this young man can do. And also, I'm looking at some of the other rookies that have actually shown a little bit of promise. So I really believe this defense will really be a lot better. And the only time and the only, shall I say, when we'll see this will be when we get them on the field. And I think we're going to surprise a lot of people.
And you touched on something there, Pops. You said the other rookies, showed some as well. And I want to talk about that. So Jayshon Barham, who was a draft pick out of Michigan, drafted him. Now, initially during the draft, they said edge, right? But the one thing that they really didn't discuss a lot of until post-draft was, the fact that he played linebacker, off the ball linebacker. And where the Cowboys planning on putting him, they plan on putting Jayshon Barham at inside linebacker. Just reading the notes about, some things that went on during rookie minicamp. That's one of the things that they did. And people are saying some things about him, Pop, some really, really good things about Jayshon Barham. And I don't know, we might have us one with him as well. And I kind of touched on that when we had our last show about, Jayshon Barham and a few other players. But, Jayshon Barham may be one of those guys. You always have some of those players that, people don't really talk about a ton during the draft, but then they wind up, popping up out of nowhere and making a big impact, whether early or late, and being one of those players that, we didn't really see that coming from this guy. So that may be what we see with Jayshon Barham. Your thoughts, Pops?
Well, I can actually agree with you on that, but I want to kind of keep it as a little surprise. I don't want people to actually just know what we have, because everybody kind of thinks this is going to be the old Cowboys defense, and these other players coming in, and the players that we got, I believe the physicality of this particular group of defensive players is going to show a little bit of a different side of the Cowboys when we actually start camp.
Now, Pops, another question I have for you: what do you think the type of impact Caleb Downs is going to have on this defense overall?
Well, the thing about it is, as smart as he is, being a I guess he was actually the leader when he was with Ohio State or whatever. So I think that they're going to be surprised by the amount of smartness this young man has. Because I don't know if he's going to wear the green dot or not. But from what I'm seeing about this, the physicality of this young man, it's getting me excited already because I believe if they see him play the way he played at Ohio State, I believe our defense will be more physical, and people are going to realize that the Cowboys are not as weak as they think we are.
I like that. I like that. And I really do think it's either going to be either him wearing the green dot or it's going to be D Winters wearing the green dot. One of the two. The D Winters, the linebacker we got from via trade via the from the 49ers. But I do see Texas Kings 88. My man, appreciate you tuning in, brother. Got a comment from him saying we're definitely deep on the defensive side of the ball this year. Appreciate that, man. And we are. I really do think that we are. We did a lot of good things by drafting defensive players, and we also picked up some guys via free agency. Now, again, I'm not a fan of those 1-year deals, as I've said before, but I like the fact that we did pick up a lot of defensive players. And the one thing I'll say before we move on to the next clip, Pops, Christian Parker is doing some things that are really, really, really positive, with these rookies, working with them one-on-one, really taking the time to make sure that they know their assignments and just really taking the time to input wisdom and knowledge into these guys. And we're going to see that pay dividends on the field of play. That's what I'm hoping that happens. But all good things coming out of rookie minicamp right now, just OTAs in general, about Christian Parker and how he is, how hands-on he is. So we're gonna see how that plays out. But so far, so good, Pops. Your thoughts?
Well, like I said, I'm going to keep it a secret, and I don't want anybody to kind of start eyeing us as far as the defensive side. So because, like I said again, the rookies that we have and him is playing well. I always still say we can do a lot of talking right now, but until we actually get on the field and show what we can do, well, then I'm going to wait for that because I like to hear people make comments instead of just saying, well, that's what you guys said last time. So I just want to see what they're going to do when they get on the field.
No, I agree, Pops. Talk is cheap. So it's all about what we're going to do on that field. I completely agree. So we're going to see. But, we got to keep it as positive as we can right now because, again, our defense was total trash last year, Pops. So we got to take what we can get right now. And then, like I said, hope to see it pay off on the field, with all these moves that we made and, hiring this new defensive coordinator. So we're going to see. All right. So next up, y'all, the 2026 schedule came out this past Thursday, and there's some notable games that we saw, Pop, talking about our Cowboys. And one of those games is obviously the season opener, and that is going to be the first Sunday night football game of the year against the New York Football Giants. The New York Football Giants. Let's go to the next clip, producers. New York Football Giants, y'all, is who we're playing the first game of the year at New York. So, Pops, you see what's on the screen there?
I do.
Give me your thoughts. You know the new coach they got, John Harbaugh, the players that they've acquired, the notable players that they traded away. Give me your thoughts on what you think we're gonna do. How the season opener against the Giants.
I really was kind of upset when they first showed me this about them opening up with the Giants. It seems like almost every year they open up with the Giants all the time. But due to the fact they have the new head coach with everybody knows and all of that, and I think the ratings will be off the chain because of the simple fact of who the new head coach is. But I still think that who Dallas is helps make that what it is also, and the players and all that we have, and the fact that they probably are looking at the actual ratings in the NFL and how this will probably play out itself. But I think it'll be a close game in a sense of speaking, and I think that because of the fact that the New York fans expected so much, I think we'll probably, let's say, upset them with a new coach, and we'll leave it at that.
Understood. Okay. Well, Got a comment from Brandon. Appreciate you tuning in, my guy. Saying just want to say, hey, and the Giants game completely stinks of trap game. Listen, man. I mean, and I'm thinking the same thing, and I'm hoping that that doesn't end up that way. Obviously, first game of the season, there's gonna be some things that go on because new defensive scheme, all those things. We're thinking that it's gonna the start of it is not gonna look all that great because guess what? Again, we're learning a new scheme here. Do we think that the Cowboys defense are gonna be world breakers and just be dominant all over the field? I don't think so initially to start it out. Maybe as the game wears on, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I agree, Brandon. It does think of a trap game, and we'll see. Now, one constant that we do have is the offense, right? So we know the offense and what it can do. That's the common denominator right there. The offense can be great, and we've seen it be great. So I don't think there's going to be any drop off in regards to the Cowboys offense. It's about what the Cowboys defense is going to do. And we know that quarterback that the Giants have, he's not some slouch. He's not some pushover. Jackson Dart's pretty good. You know what I mean? And they got some dogs on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll see. We'll see. We got another comment from Brandon. Dak is 14-3 against the G-men. I just don't know on this one. But like I said, man, the one thing that we do know is the offense is going to do its thing. It's about what the defense is going to do when it's all said and done. So that's my take on it. Do I think the Cowboys are going to win this game offhand? Yes, I say they're going to win. But I don't think it's going to be because of the defense. I think it's going to be because of the offense and how good the offense we know already is. You know what I mean? It's just about, again, can the defense make some stops and, be much better than they were last year? But again, first game of the season, we're not going to know that. Before you go, Pops, got another comment from Texas Kings 88. John Harbaugh said his focus is on beating the Dallas Cowboys. I bet it is. But he better be focused on making sure, they do well against the other teams as well. I mean, he was with the Ravens 18, 19 years, couldn't get it done. And so now he's with the Giants. So that's well and good. Be about beating the Dallas Cowboys, but be about beating some other teams as well. Before I read the next comment that Brandon just sent in, Pops, give me your thoughts again, just to reiterate what you think about this game, and we're going to move on to the next one.
Well, again, it could be a trap game, as we both said. Everybody's saying it's going to be that. But I think the Giants, they beat Dallas the last game of last year. And I really think people think they're going to beat Dallas because of the fact of who they have as head coach. And I believe also Dallas needs to prove something, too, that they're not the same team that they were last year. So it's going to be probably a close game or whatever. But I'm going to still have to go with Dallas.
Another comment from Brandon. The Giants know what the offense can do. Different coach, though. Yeah, it's a different coach, man. Different scheme, all those different things. So we're going to see how it plays out. Again, I say, we know what the Cowboys offense can do. It's about what improvements is the defense going to have. And we'll see. Next clip, y'all. Another game, notable game from the schedule release. And before we talk about that, got a comment from Lulu Anderson. Go Cowboys. Love them, blue and silver, blood in my veins. I love to hear it. Ma'am. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, so listen, guys. Thanksgiving Day, we're playing the Eagles. You see it there, Pops? Your thoughts. Thanksgiving Day against the Eagles.
I think that when you have a division rival, it really adds a little bit more to the game. And I believe that Dallas probably will win this game. And I think it also will have some of the most outstanding ratings of a Thanksgiving Day game because the simple fact of it is it's the Philadelphia Eagles. But knowing Dallas, and I think by that time, Dallas will know who they are, what kind of defense they have. And I think that they will probably win this game due to the fact that their team defense will be better at that time.
Okay. And I'm there with you as well. We by this point in the season, we should know who the Dallas Cowboys are. We really should know. We should know what a lot of teams are, namely the Eagles as well. So right. We'll see how things have played out up until this point. On paper, it's a big game, right? On paper, it's a big game. So we're going to see how it goes. But we should know how the Cowboys are. And do I think they're going to win as well? Yes, I do think they're going to win. this game as well. Got another comment from Brandon. Cowboys all-time record on Thanksgiving, 34, 22, and 1. Appreciate that stat, brother. You know what? We played the Eagles. Haven't we played the Eagles before on Thanksgiving, Pops? That I can remember, or maybe it was Christmas or something like that.
We did.
That's what I thought. So I knew we had done that before. I know it had been a while. It's like you said, something about those division games. Something about those division games, regardless of when it is, it's just always something about them. You know, either going to be super close or it's going to be a blowout. Either way, you know what I mean? It's never going to be where, super lopsided here and there when it comes to whether the Cowboys come out gangbusters or whatever. It's usually been the Eagles that have done that. So, but I think, like I said, throw the records out, though. When it comes to division games, it's always a big deal. Always. This just so happens to be on Thanksgiving. So, two of the notable games that we had on the schedule coming out, y'all, two big ones. The first game of the season, set against the Giants, going to be first game of Sunday night. And then we got the Eagles on Thanksgiving, y'all. So we're going to see how it goes, y'all. We're going to see how it goes. But I think both B and Pops both think it's going to be Cowboys wins. So we'll see. So next up, y'all. And before we go to the next clip, got another comment from Brandon. Let's take off that clip real quick. I miss Cowboys, Redskins on Turkey Day. I hear you, brother. I knew it was like another team that we had been playing, division team that we had played, and it was. And listen, do we call them the Commanders? No, you know this, Pops. I don't call them that. They are the Redskins. They forever will be the Redskins in my book. You know this, Pops. So, not the Commanders. So whatever. But yeah, I'm there with you, Brandon. I do miss that as well, my man. And then we got another comment from Texas Kings 88, and then we're gonna move on to the next clip. It says, feasting on some eagle this year. Love that it's them on Thanksgiving. Yeah, all right, we're gonna see, man. Like I said, them division games on just anytime, throw those records out, man. But it should be a good one. It should be a good one. All right, so next up, y'all, we're gonna go around the league. And first up, actually, throughout this entire segment, for the most part, we're going to talk about running backs getting paid, y'all. So as you see in this clip here, Jets and running back Breece Hall reached agreement on a 3-year deal worth up to $45.75 million, right? So initially they had put a tag on this gentleman, and he wound up getting paid. He wound up getting paid. So, or maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe they did not put a tag on him because they were going to make sure they did pay him up. But either way, he's still a Jet. He's still a Jet, 3-year deal. So, Breece Hall, big ups to you getting the bag, brother. Pops, your thoughts on Breece Hall getting paid?
Well, I think the idea of it is that they went on and paid the young man because he's all around back. He can catch, he can run the ball and block and do all of that. He's really worth the money that they're going to give him. The main thing is also the guaranteed money that he's going to get. And again, I think that's one of the better moves that the Jets could have made because, like I said, this young man has done all he needed to do to make sure that everybody knows he's one of the better running backs in the league. So we'll just see what he does, and hopefully I wish him the best.
Understood. And I mean, listen, he was one of the bright spots on the Jets team. So big up to him getting that bag because they definitely didn't have any quarterback play. So they could only key on Breece Hall. Now, not trying to dog you, Justin Fields, but I mean they didn't have anybody. Breece Hall was their weapon, and then obviously they got the receiver, Gary Wilson, but he was their main weapon. Breece Hall was their main weapon last year. The only thing he got to get corrected is them damn fumbles, Pops, because goodness gracious, he just keeps fumbling all the time. You got to get that corrected. Maybe Tiki Barber can teach us some things. Remember, he used to have fumbling problems, and then he started doing high and tight. No more. So maybe Tiki Barber can show him some things. But big ups again, Breece Hall. He getting paid, my brother. Yes, they did. Just did place a franchise tag on him, but then they wound up paying him. So big ups to Breece Hall. Big ups to Breece Hall. Next up, y'all. Next up, another running back got paid. Jeremiah Love, who was the rookie out of Notre Dame. They got drafted by the Cardinals. And as you see on this clip, it says Jeremiah Love officially signs rookie deal, the largest running back guarantee in NFL history. Now, for context on that, his deal was a fully guaranteed $53 million deal for a rookie, y'all. For a rookie. Again, it says the largest running back guarantee in NFL history. Your thoughts, Pop?
Well, obviously, they think the Cardinals think that he is worth that money. And the only way we're gonna find out is when they put him out there on the field. I hope that he'll survive through camp, which we know he's not gonna play that much in preseason anyway. But I just think that I think he'll produce or whatever. But it's kind of a scary situation because if you put all that much money in him and he doesn't show up, then guess what the fans are gonna say? They're gonna really be critical of the Cardinals for doing what they've done. And so we just have to wait and see when he gets on the field and see if he can produce the amount of talent that the money he's been given will help him to do what he needs to do.
Yeah. Got another comment from Texas Kings 88 saying can't run if you can't block. True enough. True enough, man. But as you know, there are those backs that don't need blocking. I was just actually watching a football life on Barry Sanders. That's one dude who didn't need no blocking. But we won't get into that. We're not gonna get into that. We gonna move on. Just saying. There are those that don't need it that can make space regardless. But for me, Pops, Jeremiah Love is a very talented player. So I'm saying he was the best player in this year's draft. You know, so we'll see. But $53 million fully guaranteed. Again, the largest running back guarantee in NFL history. That's wild. That is wild. Out of all the running backs we've ever heard of getting paid, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, all these largest running back guarantee in NFL history. That's crazy.
He better produce.
Yes. Goodness gracious. And then got another comment from Texas Kings 88. Appreciate all these comments, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Saying we'll see week 8. Arizona always gives us problems. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So we're gonna see how it goes, man. Hopefully the offense is going to do what it needs to do as well for the Cowboys because they really stunk up the joint when they played against the Cardinals. Cardinals defense made us look silly. And the fact that our defense was trash as well just didn't favor, was not in our favor. It was not in our favor. That game was not in our favor whatsoever. They consider that being the worst loss of the season because that was a big deal when it came to the grand scheme of things, when it came to our playoff chances in the first place. This loss to the Cardinals. So, yeah, we're going to see week 8. You're right, Texas Kings 88. Appreciate that comment, brother. Let's go to the next clip. And the reason why we brought the whole, running back deal up, the average salary for Jeremiah Love coming into the, into the league is $13.47 million, right? Saquon Barkley is $20.6 million. Most consider Saquon Barkley being the best, if not one of the best backs in the league. So you see the disparity there with the money given. Again, Jeremiah Love has not played a down on the field, but he's only $7 million away from what Saquon Barkley is making. Now keep this in mind, the Eagles paid him. The Giants let him go because they did not want to pay him this type of money, right? But Jeremiah Love, here is Jeremiah Love getting his money, not even playing a single down on the field, and yet largest running back guarantee in NFL history, and he's only $7 million away, average salary wise, from Saquon Barkley. Your thoughts, Pop?
Well, again, it goes back to the fact that he's got this money, and the field, or shall I say, him on the field, will allow us to know if he's worth that. Because we know that Barkley has produced. He's got in the Super Bowl. He was with the Giants. Had those yards with them. He didn't have that much of a line or whatever with them. But when he became an Eagle, he showed why he was who he was. And then, like I said, the money they gave him, he has a Super Bowl in his pocket. And so I always like the fact that, hey, you got to produce on the field in order for you to get the money. So we'll just have to wait again, like I said, to see what this young man's going to do. So at the end of the season, we'll know what that contract or whether he was worth getting that contract.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure, it's going to all come down here what he's going to do on the field. So
Yes.
we shall see.
Hey.
All right, so next up, y'all, we're gonna go a little bit to the business side of the NFL. And as you see in the clip, it says the Seahawks are expected to set a record for a price paid for an NFL franchise, but the sale of the team is drawing softer than expected interest, per Seth Wickersham, who is one of the reporters for ESPN. But y'all, listen, this is wild because again, the Seahawks just won the Super Bowl, right? They just won the Super Bowl, and we've seen franchises, maybe not NFL franchises, but well, yeah, the Commanders, how they sold for a record amount. So seeing that and seeing how some of these other like NBA franchises have sold for high dollar amounts, it's truly mind-boggling to see that the sale of an NFL team is getting softer than expected interest. You would think some people would be running to go buy an NFL franchise. Obviously, you got to have a ton of money to do that, but the return on the investment seems like when you purchase an NFL team is worth way more years down the line. Just look at the Dallas Cowboys. What Jerry Jones paid for the Dallas Cowboys and what they're currently worth now. Obviously, the what is it, the highest franchise, the highest rated franchise as far as money is concerned. So they're valued at the highest out of any franchise in sports. So it just shows what can be done when you do purchase a franchise, especially an NFL franchise. So your thoughts on this, Pops?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna start out with saying that the Seattle area is kind of like not one of the largest TV markets in the NFL, and the Dallas Cowboys, they were already successful anyway when Jerry Jones he decided to purchase them, and they were known all over America in a sense anyway. And my thing again is like I said, the market itself, Dallas, Houston, and all these other like Chicago and Los Angeles are larger markets, and so you really have to do well for a certain amount of time in order to get that money returned. So that's why I believe they're not getting that much interest. Not that they're not getting interest, but because of the size of the city itself and the actual the history of the Seattle Seahawks. So that's my take on that.
Okay. Okay. All right, y'all. So we're gonna move on to the next order of business in the NFL, and it's something we talked about. It's something that we had talked about on this show for a while. I've been harping on this. And before I get started on this next clip here, got another comment from Texas Kings 88. It's all about location. Maybe if they weren't in Washington. Absolutely, brother. Which is what Pops just touched on. So the market itself, doesn't necessarily bode well. But again, it's an NFL franchise, y'all. So we're gonna see who purchases it, in the end of it. But it's gonna be interesting. Very interesting. But as I say, y'all, we have been talking about this thing between the NFL and NFL Referees Association for a while. And I told y'all that, we were on the verge of having, replacement referees, coming on board with this deal not going so well, these negotiations for this deal not going so well. Well, since the last time we aired, the NFL and the NFL Referees Association have reached a 7-year collective bargaining agreement that will run through the 2032 NFL season. The current deal was scheduled to expire on May 31st. So that means no more replacement officials on the horizon. It's going to be bona fide NFL refs that we're used to calling games. There's not going to be a fail Mary or anything of that nature. It's an agreement in place. So thank God for that. Goodness gracious. Your thoughts, Pops?
Well, what this does for me is it tells me I was sweating a little bit on that because now I won't have to blame the replacement refs for a bad call. And so now I can blame the real ref for a bad call. So I'm just glad they did this and we got 7 years on the deal. It'll make me feel a lot better when some of these close calls or close games, rather, shall I say, are done by the real referees. And I can sleep at night knowing it wasn't by the replacements.
And then the thing is, the whole hang up with this deal was, the referees were feeling some type of way of saying they were going to be held more accountable, to ensure that they get the calls right. So hopefully it's good for both sides and that, we see a better product referee wise, this year because there were some things that we saw that were terrible calls or non-calls or whatever the case may be, but luckily, they came to agreement, and hopefully, again, it's going to be for both good for both sides of the game in general, and the product that we see on the field, when it's all said and done. I see that we got another comment from Brandon. Again, appreciate all the comments, y'all. Thank y'all so much for that. Says the NFL referees were able to come to a deal. They need to send some negotiators to the bargaining table to open up the Strait of Hormuz. Say, man, here you go. Relax, Brandon. Relax, sir. Relax, relax. But you're onto something there, brother. You're onto something. But moving on, y'all. Moving on. But again, thank God that the NFL and NFL Referees Association came to an agreement, and that we won't have to worry about replacement reps on the field this upcoming season and for the next 7 seasons. So again, thank God for that. Appreciate y'all. So next up, y'all. Next up, got a couple more things from the NFL, and as you'll see, there's Aaron Rodgers right there, y'all. Aaron Rodgers is now a Pittsburgh Steeler once again. Before we get into this, Pops, got another comment from Texas Kings 88. Exactly, Pops trying to enjoy the beautiful of the game. We need professional on the sidelines as well. I agree. So the hope is that we're gonna see a much better product from the referees, and we'll see how that goes. Again, they were said that they need to be more accountable for the calls that they were making, and we're gonna see what we see on the field. But as you see in this clip, again, Aaron Rodgers signed a 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers worth up to $25 million. That means that he's reuniting with his former coach from the Green Bay Packers, Mike McCarthy, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys as well. But some new news to add on this, Pops. Today, when Aaron Rodgers was speaking to the media, he told them that this is his last year. He's done after this. No more playing football after this for Aaron Rodgers. And before you go, Pops, got another comment from Brandon. Finally, the Aaron Rodgers farewell season. He said he is done after the 2026 season. Yep. So, Pops, go ahead and tell me what your thoughts are. Aaron Rodgers finally signing back with the Steelers, and then him saying he's done after this year.
Well, I first of all, I do respect Aaron Rodgers and what he's done for the league, and how he's actually brought, I guess, more fans to the actual NFL. But I think what he's doing is more just bringing a fan base to the Pittsburgh Steelers, because if they possibly put a rookie in there or whatever, then they possibly will lose some of the financing of that team. But see, with Tomlin leaving and all of that, and then the new coach coming in, it's kind of like a little swan song story for him and the coach in a sense. So that way the people will come out to see what Aaron is going to do. But I believe that he'll be okay. But I think mainly this is to bring out the fans, if anything else, and kind of wish him well, because him and the coach were pretty good friends also off the field. So I believe it's just mainly a good way to do a swan song.
Yeah, you're right about the financing of the team as far as them getting revenue, things of that nature. With Aaron Rodgers being at the helm, yes, we're gonna put more butts in seats of those games just because of the fact that he's gonna be playing. And it doesn't hurt that he's reuniting with Mike McCarthy, whom he had his best years with. So maybe we'll see him do well. I don't know. What we saw when he played with Mike Tomlin at the helm. But again, it's a different story with Mike McCarthy, just because of the fact that we saw some of Dak's best years at QB when Mike McCarthy was coach. I got to give him credit for that. So, we'll see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. But again, this is going to be his final year, playing ball. And we'll see how it goes. And I see we got another comment from Texas Kings 88. Rodgers will always be a Cowboys killer. Would have liked to give he at least one L, but I doubt he'll even finish the season. All respect. Wow, dang. Texas King saying he might get hurt and get carried off the field. That's how he's gonna end his career. And got another comment from Brandon. Plot twist: he takes 2 years off and comes out of retirement to play for the Cowboys. LOL. Man, relax, brother. You here with the jokes, man. Yeah, get that comment off the screen. You relax, Brandon. Playing for no Cowboys. I might renounce my fandom of being a Cowboys fan if that happens. So you relax, sir. All right. Next up, y'all, and this is before we put up this clip. Before we put up this clip, it's kind of reflecting of in the world of the NFL, and we're gonna get into it a bit. But yeah, pull up the next clip for me. So Brendan Sorsby, who we talked about during our show before, have the gambling issues, you know, previously before he became, Texas Tech quarterback when he was at Indiana, betting on craziness from Turkish basketball to some other crazy stuff. Pops, wild. Um, he has filed an injunction or filed seeking an injunction against the NCAA for his college eligibility for this particular season. Now, why do I say this has ties to the NFL? Well, the reason why is because this has to be filed a week before the supplemental draft, before he has to file his supplemental draft paperwork. Okay. So it's something that ties to the NFL because he very well could put himself in the supplemental draft if it doesn't work out with him getting this injunction against the NCAA. So he could very well be in the NFL, y'all. He could very well do that if this doesn't work out with his NCAA eligibility. And he's not, too bad of a quarterback. He was thought to be, highly sought out talent in this quarterback rich draft of 2027. So I don't know. Again, this has some NFL ties because he very well could be in a supplemental draft. Pops, your thoughts?
Well, I like that. It's kind of a business decision for this young man because he also knows that everyone knows about his gambling habits or whatever that took place. But again, it's just kind of like you could consider it to be like an insurance policy in case the people look at him in a different light as far as with a gambling issue or whatever like that. So again, like I said again, it is just an insurance policy in the sense that it can make him look bad as far as with his gambling habits.
Yeah. So, and another little twist to this. So, the injunction that he's filed or tried to file against the NCAA. So the judge that was initially presiding over that case has recused himself because he actually went to Texas Tech. So not to show any conflict of interest or anything like that, he has recused himself from the case. So, another little kind of crazy twist in that whole situation. But I'm telling y'all, this is big because again, he could be in the NFL as well. Another quarterback in the NFL, if this doesn't work out, he could be in a supplemental draft. And again, he's seeking a hearing for a temporary injunction by June 15th, which is 1 week before the deadline to file paperwork for the NFL's supplemental draft. So again, just something to keep in mind, y'all, again, for Brendan Sorsby. So we'll see. More to come on that. Next up, y'all, we are going to the world of the NBA. And first up, Masai Ujiri is now the Mavs team president. Okay? It's a pretty big deal. It's a respected name in the NBA. Very respected name. He's a executive of the year. He has won an NBA championship. They call it the Kawhi Leonard year because they traded for him when they won the championship that year. But he's a bona fide executive in the NBA. So, Pops, your thoughts on Masai Ujiri becoming the team president? Now, don't speak on what else we're going to talk about. We're just talking about him right now. But more to come on this gentleman in just a bit. But your thoughts on him becoming the new team president of the Mavs, sir?
Well, I just heard what you said about him being winning the championship and also about Kawhi Leonard. And from what I've heard about him so far, he's had good reviews, and so the jury is still out. With what's going on down here in Dallas, everybody's still a little bit gun shy about everything right now. So again, we're going to see what he can do. And I think everybody in Dallas wants a fresh start from everything, and so we'll see how this works out. Because of the simple fact of it is, it's still a cloud over Dallas because of all the things that have taken place. So we'll see if he can live up to this being one of the better managers, one of the better guys, presidents.
Well, And my thing is, pops. I am I surprised that they brought him on board? Not really. Um, I just think it's a good move for them, just as you said, to have a fresh start on things because it's been it's been pretty bad. It's been pretty bad. Again, I'm not a Mavs fan. I'm just trying to give you Mavs fans some hope. In regards to this person that they brought on board, and I think um, you know, he's a good executive. He's brought on talent. He seeks out talent, and he has built up some great teams. So and got a comment from Brandon. I'm mixed on him. Last championship for the Raptors was 2019. What has he done since? You're right. He hasn't won a championship since then. But just saying in general about him being a respected executive within the NBA, I mean, you couldn't have really done any better than this guy. I don't know who else you could have really gone after because no one else that's out there that's really good. You're not getting Sam Presti from the Thunder. You're not getting the guys from San Antonio. They're not letting those guys go. So that's a wrap on that. So he was the only person that was out there that was a respected name and that has bones in the league and that really is able to acquire talent. You know, I will say he has been a successful GM, team president, whatever the case may be. He's been successful wherever he's gone. So I will give him that. So again, you guys got one in this gentleman. We'll see how it goes. And then got another comment from Texas Kings 88. We need to bring back Sean Sweeney as head coach. My opinion, defensive mind coach. Well, I mean, we gon' see how things go. We don't want to jump the gun where we're at in the show here, but we're gonna move on to the next clip, y'all. Not only did they bring on Masai Ujiri, but the first hire that Masai Ujiri did was bring on Mike Schmitz as a franchise general manager. Now, not to say that Mike Schmitz is going to make the moves or whatever the case may be. We know Masai Ujiri is going to be the one really making all the moves. But we'll see how that really goes with him being on board. He came from the Portland Trailblazers, and again was Masai Ujiri's first hire as team president. Your thoughts, Pops?
Well, the jury's still out on the Mavericks because really he does some things now that are coming forward that I kind of disagree with the way they're handling stuff. And I really hate to say this, but I think the Luka Doncic trade and all of that or whatever, the owners had to have a vital part in that itself because you cannot make a move without them knowing what was going on. And so I think that the young man, I can't think of his name now, with that Dallas Fire, got a raw deal on that because you can never make a move without the owners not knowing. They acted as if they didn't have any idea that Luka was going to be traded. And so now everything's going to be clean. That's going to be clean house and all that or whatever. But again, like I said, hopefully this move that they just made now will make them look better, if nothing else. Because like I said again, they knew everything that was going to take place before Luka ever left. And so hopefully this will help them to look better in the future.
And you talk about Nico Harrison is who they fired. So yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Right.
And as we talked about on this show before, Pops, whenever you bring on a new GM or new ownership or new this or that or whatever, no one is safe. No one is safe when a new owner or new GM or new team president, whatever, no one is safe at their job at all. And I say that to say this next clip is what happened yesterday. And that is Jason Kidd is now out as the Mavs head coach. The floor is yours, Pop.
I know Jason Kidd, he has been a pretty solid coach for the Mavericks, and I think that the tie-in or here we go back again with Luka and then Nico. I think this is the idea of cleaning the house and making it look better, and the fans to come back out and to make sure that everybody knows we're trying to do what we need to do to make Dallas better. But I don't like that the idea of him being fired either, because the fact of it is, again, it always goes back to Luka and all of that. And so hopefully whoever they bring in will help clean the house and everybody will be happy all over again.
And you know what, Pops? I don't think it's really tied to like I think he has something to do with it as well. No one's hands are clean when it came to the Luka Doncic thing at all. I don't think that whatsoever. Jason
Right.
Kidd, Nico Harrison, the ownership, all those people. Someone had a hand in it, some way, shape, or fashion. Simple as that. Now, Jason Kidd wanted to be in upper management. I'm gonna hold that there, and I'm gonna get into it a little bit more. I'm gonna say this comment for Texas Kings '88.
Oh,
Something has to change, and I'm happy. Got rid of Luca and Brunson, two players Dallas developed, and gonna make it make sense. Listen, uh, again, Jason Kidd wanted to be in upper management. He really wanted to be the team president, Pops. He interviewed for the job to be that. So did Michael Finley, and I think Michael Finley's still on board. I don't think they let him go or anything. I think I might have seen him at the press conference when they hired Mike Schmitz, the new GM. But so I think Michael Finley's still there. But again, Jason Kidd wanted to be team president, and it wouldn't have seemed. It just wouldn't have seemed right. It seemed it would have been really awkward for him to still be on the sidelines when he really wanted the job, and the guy's over you now. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't have been a good situation. So I think that this needed to happen. I think that, like you said, they needed to have a fresh start. Everything cleared of this Luka Doncic thing, and not just him, but apparently other executives were let go, other coaches and other scouts. Now, who those people are, I don't know. I tried looking up that, but I couldn't find that information. But he wasn't the only one. There's other executives, other scouts, other coaches that are gone too. And we got another comment from Brandon. Appreciate all these comments. Brandon says, nah, it was time for Five to go. Kid had something to do with the Luka trade, and his coaching was trash. Oh, my. Too many 25-point losses with Cooper Flag scoring 40-point games. Now, you got to understand something, though, Brandon. They were trying to tank. They were tanking this season, just so you are aware. They were tanking. So they were trying to lose. Now, Cooper Flag said, I want to win Rookie of the Year. So just so you're clear that you're understanding, they were tanking. So yes, they wanted to lose all these games, and we're going to get into that a little bit in the show as well. But they were trying to lose games. Just so happened to be where Cooper Flag is uber competitive and said, I'm going to still shine and do my thing. But keep in mind, y'all, Jason Kidd had 4 years left on his deal. And so the Mavs are going to be paying him $40 million not to be their coach anymore. So just sit with that for a little while. He had 4 years left on his deal, and they're going to be paying him $40 million not to be the coach anymore. But yeah, Jason Kidd is now out as a Mavs head coach. Now, moving on, y'all. Moving on. We got a good amount of show left to get to, y'all. So, Giannis Antetokounmpo is now on the trading block. Now on the trading block, y'all. Giannis, it's official. The Bucks are listening to trade offers for Giannis. So, Pops, where do you think he's going to end up?
I think that he'll probably. Well, I don't know if they want to keep him in the East or not. But well, really, to be honest about it, I really don't have a total opinion about that because the simple fact of it is the amount of money he would want, and then also who they wanted to trade or whatever. So the jury's still out on me on that thing. So I'll just kind of sit back and see what happens. So what do you think?
I mean, whoever gets him is going to have to pay a king's ransom to get him because the Bucks are not going to. The only thing I would say is that the fact that people are knowing that he's going to be traded can maybe mess with their leverage somewhat. But at the end of the day, it's going to take a lot to get him. It's going to take a lot. So we're going to see how it goes, but get ready to lose a star player and some first round picks. That's for sure, to get this young man's talents. That's just what it is. And I think that's the main reason why he didn't get traded prior to the trade deadline this past year, during the regular season. Let's go back to some comments. I saw one from Brandon. Yes, there we go. Brandon said tanking to get the ninth pick though. Cooper Flag said play to win. Hey, listen, man. Again, these teams they tank thinking that they. I mean, the more you lose, and we're gonna get into that a little bit here in a bit. But the more you lose, yeah, you get the better percentage, the more ping pong balls you get in that little machine. The more you lose. Like I said, this is the last year of that. But we're gonna get into that. Got another comment from Texas Kings. You know you want him in LA, QMP. Hey man, listen, you relax, Texas Kings. Don't worry about what I want, sir. Okay. We won't talk about that. But listen, would I love for him to be in the Lakers uniform? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's trade Austin Reeves, trade LeBron James. Yeah, that's fine with me. Giannis, I'd love for you to be in the LA Lakers uniform. Absolutely. But Texas Kings, you relax, sir. You don't worry about what I want for him with the Lakers, okay? You chill out, sir. Got another comment from Brandon. Send Giannis to Dallas. That's 4 games he got to play against Wemby. I mean, look, man, that is going to be a matchup, though. I can't wait to see them play against each other with Giannis being fully healthy. That's a matchup there, man. That is a matchup indeed. But, again, he's on the trade market, y'all. He's on the trading block. We're going to see where he ends up because he's definitely not going to be a Milwaukee Buck anymore. That's done deal, okay? So we'll see where he winds up going. So for the next clip, which we're kind of going to touch on what Brandon was saying in that comment he said about taking for the 9th pick, though. So as you'll see, the draft lottery has come and gone, the NBA draft lottery. These were the odds, y'all. These were the odds. And you see who had the worst records. It was the Washington Wizards, the Indiana Pacers, the Brooklyn Nets, Utah Jazz, Sacramento Kings, blah, 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 blah. Y'all see the teams on there, right? So those top 3 worst teams had the best odds of 14%, right? And we see where the Mavs are with the 6.7% chance to win the first overall pick in this year's NBA draft. So y'all see the odds there. Now let's show the next clip. This is where it ended up, y'all. So the Wizards, with the worst record, actually got the number 1 pick in the draft. It's rare that it happens, but it happens, right? So the Washington Wizards got number 1, Utah Jazz got number 2, Memphis got number 3, Chicago 4, and so on and so forth. Now, the Mavs ended up with the 9th pick. Now, again, I am not a Mavericks fan, y'all. I need y'all to keep this in mind. However, I do want y'all to do well, right? This year's draft, between numbers 1 and 10, you're going to get a pretty darn good basketball player. Now, I say that because they're saying that this year's NBA draft, is going to be, it's supposed to be as talented as the 1996 draft class, which included Kobe Bryant and Ray Allen and those others, okay? In 1996, that's 30 years ago. They're saying that the talent in this draft is so deep that it compares to that draft, which is, they're saying the 1996 draft is one of the best draft classes ever, which is true. They're saying that this class could shape up to be that. So, Pops, your thoughts on that?
Again, this is gonna sound strange, but I'm just gonna wait and see what we actually do, and then I with all of the things going on with the Dallas Mavericks, well, then, like I said, I'm gonna watch them do what they do, and I'll go from there.
Okay. So we're gonna go to the next clip, y'all, and this is gonna be the mock draft, the most recent mock draft that we're gonna have for this particular class coming up. So if y'all notice, I don't know who Braden Burries is. I don't know who he is, but you'll notice there are players there. The one I'm mostly intrigued about is Caleb Wilson. He could wind up being the number 4 pick. He could wind up being the number 1 pick. He's a really good player. But again, I'm telling y'all, picks 1 through 10, you're gonna get a great player. I've never heard of Braden Burries at all. But again, they're saying this class is shaping up to be the best class in 30 years, or comparing it to that 1996 class. As a Mavs fan, y'all should be pretty okay with being at the number nine pick in this year's NBA draft. I'm just saying, y'all
Right.
should be happy with that. Now, if it was a draft, where it was terrible, where it was top heavy, picks 1 to 5, and you got number 9, okay, understood. But they're saying, regardless of where you are within that top 10, you're gonna get a bona fide player. And again, y'all, if they're comparing this class to the one 30 years ago, that should give y'all some hope. Someone to pair with Cooper Flag. So, your thoughts, pops?
I agree with what you just said because there are some good players, young man that you have, right there. I like I said again, I'm going to withhold everything and see what they do. Then we'll talk about it after the fact.
All about on the court. I understand, pops. I understand. I completely understand. Um, so yeah, I mean that's what we're seeing now. Who's going to be top 10? So I don't. We'll see how it shapes out. Devonta could be number 1. Cameron Boozer could be number 1. Caleb Wilson could be the. Who knows? Who knows?
Right.
Aaron Peterson could be number 1. So the Wizards have some choices on their hands. They have to make a tough decision. A tough decision. Now the funny thing is that I keep hearing is that the one common denominator with these number 1 picks being awarded to these teams. So last year, Anthony Davis was on our squad, and we got awarded the number 1 pick. Well, guess what team Anthony Davis is on right now? He's with the Washington Wizards. So they got the number 1 pick. So now they're saying maybe Anthony Davis being on your team gets you awarded the number 1 pick of the draft, just sucking it. But now the thing is, even if you tank, it ain't gonna matter because they're putting new rules in place, which is why I put up those percentages and all those things. Because if you tank, it's gonna be bad for you. Just saying. So ain't gonna be no more tanking. You get penalized for that now, for sure. So this is their last year to really do that tanking thing, and it's out the window now. Bottom line. So Washington Wizards got rewarded for tanking and got the number 1 pick, which is again is a rare thing, but they got it. So, but again, they have a tough decision on their hands for that number 1 pick. So we'll see how they how everything plays out with that. So, all right, moving on, y'all. Moving on. The NBA MVP was awarded. These were the finalists. You got Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Victor Wembanyama. It went to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the second year in a row. So 2-time MVP, back-to-back MVP. So well deserved. Well deserved. Now, I will say how it's playing now right now with this Spurs Thunder series. I don't know. Victor Wembanyama saying, hey man, I want that award you got. And I'm gonna show you why I deserve to win it. At least with the one game that they've had so far in the Western Conference Finals. But again, congrats to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, back-to-back NBA MVP honors. Pops, your thoughts?
I agree with you on that. He deserves that. So I agree with that. So I'll go with that on that. And we'll see at the end of the season, why they did that. But as of this moment, I agree with that.
Victor Wembanyama saying, I got something to say about that, buddy. So we're going to see. They actually about to tip off here in about another 15, 20 minutes. So we about to see how SGA comes out, showing that, he deserves the MVP, showing why he was given MVP. It's going to be a good series, Pops, at the end of it. I think it's going to go 7, honestly, between Spurs and Thunder. But, Victor Wembanyama really sent a message in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. So, congrats again to SGA for winning NBA MVP. All right, y'all. So the last segment of the day is going to be our bruh moment of the week, right? There's going to be a new thing that we do every week moving forward. But the reason why you see Tom Brady up there, the 2 pictures of Tom Brady. So, I saw something on Facebook. Appreciate the comment, Texas Kings 88. Great show, y'all. Much love. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate the love, my man. But the bro moment of the week. So these moments are gonna make us say, bro. Honestly, you stop in your tracks, you say, bro. Oh my gosh, what was it said there? So you see Tom Brady, the young Tom Brady, and the older Tom Brady. Well, the clip that I saw said Goodness, I producers, do we have that clip that I sent? I don't know if we have it or not, but if we don't, then I'll try to look it up real quick. But yo, it tripped me out when I saw it. Um, it mentioned something about money, right? And I'm gonna bring this up real quick because I want y'all to know what was said. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. So the clip said, so again, look at Tom Brady, the young Tom Brady and the older Tom Brady. It says, proof that you aren't ugly, you're just poor. So again, just a moment of the week that made us say, what, Pops?
Bro,
Bruh. So just saying, y'all, it said proof that you're not ugly, you're just poor. Look at Tom Brady when he was first drafted, and look how he is now. Trip, y'all. So, bro moment of the week, y'all. Bro moment of the week. That's gonna do it for us for the Wild Sports Show, y'all. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're on any other platforms that y'all look at on a daily basis, y'all. We appreciate the love, appreciate all the comments. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And then until next time, y'all, peace out.